Austin, thank you for the time as always. There's a lot to cover, but we'll start with five-star offensive lineman Jordan Seaton. What has been the latest with him in terms of his activity as he gets ready for a scheduled announcement tomorrow?
Yeah, going to announce tomorrow, Josh, and he's made his way to Los Angeles, and I think a lot of people are trying to figure out like what's going on there. Like he's went out to L.A. with his family, going to announce out there, and be interested to see. The last few days, kind of everybody's been all over the map. The Oregon media feels like that they've got a pretty good shot. They feel like it's them and Ohio State. Ohio State thinks it's Tennessee, but they think it's Tennessee and Ohio State. I feel like, Tennessee's in a really good spot here, and I'd probably tell you if you asked me who the top two are, I'd probably tell you Tennessee and Oregon. So it's a little bit of everywhere. Jordan Seaton has played things really close to the vest. There's a lot of chatter out there, but how real it all is, I think everybody's still trying to kind of, put some pieces together.
You mentioned you feeling like Tennessee was in a good spot. Why do you feel like Tennessee is in a good spot? And we know how these things can go with a prospect like Jordan Seaton, man. They go radio silent as we get closer to signing day or their commitment, and they can decide not to talk to anybody. But there has to be a reason why Tennessee felt good about where they are right now with Jordan Seaton. Why is that?
Well, I just think they feel like that, he sees the opportunity here in Knoxville. He and, Glenn Ellerby have gotten, to know each other better. He and Josh Heupel jive really well together. And, I think the family's very comfortable with Tennessee. Not to say that they're not comfortable with Oregon or Ohio State, because I think, they like both those schools as well. But I do think that, there's some optimism there on this side that, kind of the opportunity that is here to be able to play right away. Nico, Boo Carter, all those kids have been working Jordan really, really well. And, I'm not sure that Jordan Seaton, who started his senior year out in Nashville playing Lipscomb, ever envisioned Tennessee being this big of a factor for him. But, when he finally got up here, he kind of, I think, fell in love with the place. And, we'll see if that's enough to get it to the finish line come tomorrow.
Austin Price of Volquest is with us. Thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Also on Seaton, how important is he for Tennessee and this class from how you view it right now to how you would view it if he were to announce for the Vols tomorrow?
Good, solid class without him. Really, really, really strong with him. There's some really nice pieces in this class. I don't want to discredit them, but I think he would be the Nico of this class. If different position, different personality, but like as far as impact, and honestly, he would take this class and make it rated higher than what Nico's class was. So, again, I think that he takes his class and turns it up a notch if he picks Tennessee tomorrow.
Austin Price, VolQuest.com. What's the latest with some of the players in the portal in terms of Tennessee having a chance to bring those guys in on the visit and have a real shot of signing these guys?
Well, I think, Tennessee's obviously wanting to go and get some help in the tight end room because right now it's Ethan Davis and Ethan Davis. Because, like McAllen Castles and Jacob Warren are going to play their last game in the bowl game. So, Tennessee needs some help in the portal. They have Jonathan Eccles committed, the tight end from IMG, and, Holden Stays, Justin Jolie, two kids that, will be here, this weekend. You have the UCLA tight end, one Tennessee has interest in taking a look at that's in the portal. We'll see if he gets to town maybe next weekend. But, we'll start this weekend with the two tight ends. And, I would say Stays, probably more your traditional tight end. Jolie, a lot of Tennessee fans have kind of latched onto him just because they saw him get 80 yards worth of balls, against Tennessee in the month of November. But I would say the Stays kid's probably, out of the two, probably more kind of what Tennessee's wanting. Like, Jolie is more like Ethan Davis. Ethan Davis is not your normal kind of like hand in the dirt, like bully tight end. He's more your pass receiver. So I think Tennessee needs a guy that can kind of helping the run game, can be physical, and a kid from Atlanta, Holden Stace, who is coming from Notre Dame, would be that guy, in my opinion. But again, I think Tennessee would love to take 2 if they can get them. We'll see if they can get 2. And then Juice Wells, that's the one a lot of fans want to talk about. I would pour cold water on that, like that. That one just feels like it's going to be heavily into the NIL, and with him coming off an injury, I'm not sure what teams are going to be willing to kind of go down that road and just pony up just a crazy amount of money. So we'll see. Again, we'll see kind of how it transpires. We'll see what kind of time Juice Wells has this weekend and what direction they have to go. But I would, I guess, just throw a little cold water on that one. Don't let it get going too far down the tracks.
Austin, Price of Volquest, what about some of the seniors with eligibility remaining that still have a decision to make? Where do things stand with what is still a pretty long list, right, of guys that have to make an official decision?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of guys that haven't announced, like Big O, I think will be back. Omar Norman-Lott's not announced anything. I think things are trending for him to be back. Cooper Mays, I've long said, he didn't go through senior day. I didn't think that was a lock at the time for him to be back. Still wouldn't call it a lock, but everything trends well there, right? Elsewhere, Tamariel McDonald has got to make a decision on what he wants to do. Danico Slaughter, same thing. So there are some guys that have to kind of go through the process. But I think a lot of them have kind of already kind of come to that point where they may not have announced it, but it in their minds, things are happening, like they're going to be back.
It looks like we're going to see some young players get a chance to play in the secondary. With some of the older players hitting the portal and other guys graduating. There's been a lot of questions about the defensive staff. Willie Martinez with his contract set to expire. Then there was some talk about MTSU and Tim Banks, and Derek Mason's now the coach at MTSU. What kind of changes do you see happening on the defense side of football, whether it's coaching personnel or new players playing there on the back end?
As of we said here on December, whatever it is, I would say there's not going to be any defensive changes on the staff unless somebody gets an NFL job or something like that. As for the personnel, I think a lot of it just depends on who comes back, and I think Tennessee's got to make they can't go straight to the youth movement, but they've got to make a real conscious effort to, get some of those younger guys out there. I think that's what a lot of this bowl practice will be, is like push these guys. Let's figure out exactly what we have heading into spring ball and already know before spring ball gets here. And then in the bowl game, could you see some younger guys in the bowl game? Absolutely. I think that's very possible. I think Joe Milton's one that's got to decide, does he want to play in the bowl game or not? And if he doesn't, then obviously, that would begin the Nico era, and then would be interesting to kind of see how all that transpires, because I think, that would be an eye-opener for a lot of fans that are, do I go to Orlando? Do I not go to Orlando? I think if number 8 was the quarterback, I think the interest level, definitely perks up. Not that it's bad with Joe, but I think it's the opponents. Like, Iowa plays such a boring brand of football. I think it's got a lot of Tennessee fans like, ugh, Iowa.
You mentioned Joe figuring out what he wants to do. I think it's pretty it's more understandable when you have a Caleb Williams not playing in the Holiday Bowl, or you have a potential first, second round pick at a different position not playing in a bowl game. But I don't understand what Joe will be contemplating. You go out and you play, because I feel like you need that game. How long does Joe have to tell the staff whether he wants to play or not? Do you know?
No, the staff out on the road recruiting, like, they've not really began bowl prep. So, he's got, some time. But, again, the big question is he really not going to play when the game's in his hometown, or where he grew up, where he played high school ball in Orlando? I think a lot of that, has got to be decided. But, I mean, again, every kid has to make the decision that's best for them.
Gotcha.
Austin, did we miss anything worth paying attention to in the next few days, or anything else that would be a priority on the recruiting trail or otherwise? Seaton is the story right now, Jordan Seaton, with his announcement tomorrow. Anything else to add to the agenda right now out there?
Nope, it's pretty quiet out there on the whole as far as like movement. So, recruiting, how many high school kids they're in on right now?
Jordan Seaton, the announcement. Is there a time officially tomorrow? What's the schedule like tomorrow for Seaton?
I have heard nothing in terms of that. You'd expect that he'll announce that at some point today.
Okay. And what is the reason he's in L.A., by the way?
I have no clue. Nobody knows.
Okay.
Maybe he's going to do a Jared Gantano type of announcement there, the Hollywood Strip or something by the Star.
New York, though. Jared was from New York, though. Jared was from New York. I mean, there's a difference there. Right?
I'm trying here, Austin. I'm trying to understand. I have nothing.
Yeah.
I'm drawing blanks here.
Austin, you cover it. We'll react. Austin Price, you can read his work, his colleagues' work as well at Volquest.com, and you can hear him on this show each week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Holiday time is here, shopping time, great gift ideas from the team there at Rick Terry. Rick Terry Jewelry Designs, making it unique, making it special, making it just for you. They want to be your jeweler at Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, we appreciate the time and the insight. As always, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.